Welcome to Scooby-Doo Legend of the Podcast. So, today, we're back with Mother.
Hello.
Because we're still social distancing, quarantining. But we're on Chapter 15 with Return of Commander Cool. So, I have to admit, this episode was, not at all what I thought it was going to be. I do not remember this one at all. So it was a good refresher for me. What did you think of this one?
It seemed fast to me.
Yeah, when they got to the romp, I was like, wait, we're already at the romp?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a fast one.
That's how I feel.
So in this episode, it takes place at the Colossal Toy Building, which is the toy company that makes the Commander Cool toys. So obviously this one is more Shaggy and Scooby oriented, except I have a whole one thing for Scooby. More for Shaggy this time.
Yeah.
So, Fred, since we just apparently go in this order.
Well, also though, I noticed it started out too. It wasn't stormy, but it was windy. And Shaggy, when he introduces it, he says spooky and scary night. It was a spooky and scary night.
And a windy night.
And it was windy. There wasn't really lightning like the last one or thunder. Mm-hmm. It was just looked super windy. The weather affects me. I noticed the weather a lot.
We didn't get a happy daytime shot this time after everything was over.
No, we didn't.
So, I don't have a whole lot for Fred, but this one deals with aliens. We have an alien in this episode, and he's very into the Martians idea and whatever because of that national exaggerator. And so he's like, oh, the aliens are planning to invade, and he was just all about this alien idea this time.
He thought there was an alien, and in their flying saucers.
Yeah.
And kept seeing flying saucers. Or a flying saucer.
And he said that he read in the National Exaggerator that aliens eat human brains. That was at one point.
For dinner.
Oh, for dinner. I didn't get that part.
Yeah, they eat them for dinner.
So apparently it's nighttime. Why are they at this?
Late?
Yeah.
Again.
I only have one more note for Fred. Wow, go me. But that he thought the alien was stupendous, this guy that we meet. But that's all I have for Fred. He was just into the whole aliens.
I had in the beginning, so in the beginning a monster-like thing comes out and it's Zeke. They were calling him Zeke. But Red Herring pops out. Red Herring is in the costume of Zeke. And then I had, at one point, well, we'll get more into this when we talk about other people, but they have a list of suspects, and Fred is saying he's surprised that Red Herring's name is not on the suspect list. And I have something else and I can't read my writing. A job for Scooby, Detective Agnox? I don't know that one.
Uh-oh.
Oh well, huh?
So, is that all you had for Fred?
That's all I have for Fred.
So, okay. Daphne, I actually have quite a bit for Daphne this episode. One random note is that she was not into the fact that this Commander Cool dummy thing was its cape or something was made out of polyester.
Oh yeah, I didn't write that down, but I heard it.
And yeah, I don't know, that was just interesting. I'm like, what's fancy fabric then? I mean, I don't know different types of fabric.
polyester is... They used to make fun of if you wore polyester pants. Like
Maybe it was pants then.
Kind of a shiny. And yeah, back in the day, you'd be made fun of if you wore polyester pants. So maybe it has something with that.
And she also didn't like the shade of red. They find a lipstick container thing eventually, and she didn't like the shade of red that it was. I'm like, girl, you are too picky this episode. Too high maintenance. Goodness. Doesn't like... I feel like she didn't like a lot. She also... I mean, we'll get more into this soon, but Shaggy starts acting like Commander Cool, his, like, idol, superhero, and whatever, and she doesn't like him as Commander Cool. She's like, oh, I can't wait till he's back to normal, and...
Yes, now I have... So at one point he says, upward ho! And Daphne is like, oh, I can't wait till he's back to himself. And then at another point, Shaggy, this is when he thinks he's Commander Cool still, he says, come on, kids! And she says that again. Like, ugh, when is he gonna be back to himself? I don't like this.
So, I mean, at least she likes Shaggy's personality.
Yeah, she likes the real Shaggy.
Yeah. We once again get that she's disgusted by dust. This has been, like, a reoccurring thing so far. She just doesn't do dust. But...
At Mr. Creepley's house.
Yes.
They are walking up the steps, and on the railing, she runs her finger across it, and there's dust, and she does not like it. And so she calls for... Is it Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, Mr. Jenkins.
And he shows up, and he's all decked out like a...
He's a butler.
A butler, yes. Yeah. And he dusts the dust away for her.
Well, so this is a big deal, because in the episode where they went to her house to see her new room, but then everything was stolen, their butler in that episode was leaving. He was retiring to become the chef or whatever. So this is our first time seeing her new butler, who is Jenkins, and apparently he just comes when she calls for him.
Yeah, he appears out of nowhere.
I've been saying for a while now, I wonder when he's going to come, because I remember him. She would just call him, and he would come do whatever. Now my one thing I'm wondering, though, is if he's going to replace Velma's, like, have everything. If she'll just call Jenkins, and he'll bring them whatever now. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. This is the first time we're seeing him, but... Anyways, I was excited to see him, because I have been waiting for him. And now this kind of makes sense, because we knew that their other butler was retiring, so it's like, oh, Jenkins is their new butler. So...
I wish I had a butler that I just called.
Well, and another thing, I mean, I kind of noted this more for the butler, but while we're talking about it, is he wouldn't leave until she dismissed him. Because he was still standing there after he came the first time to dust. And she, like, turns around and is like, oh, that's all. And then he could leave.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, you're right.
Anyway, really excited for Jenkins. So, Daphne doesn't believe in flying, Daphne doesn't believe that flying saucers are real, even though she saw one, she said.
Yes.
And this goes along with the Halloween episode where we saw a real ghost, and she said to the ghost, you know, I still don't believe in real ghosts, you know, even though you're real and whatever. Like, she just can't accept the fact that they're real right now.
Even though I see you.
Seeing isn't believing, apparently, to her. She still has the Scooby snacks, but we learned she also has Mellow Mutt munchies.
Because she offered Scooby a Scooby snack, and he's like, ooh, yes. But then Shaggy at that time still thought he was Commander Cool. And so he was saying, no, he can't have, because Scooby is, who's Scooby? Oh, he's dressed up, as Mellow Mutt.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shaggy's saying, no, Mellow Mutt can't have a Scooby snack. So then she comes out with Mellow Mutt Munchies.
Yes.
And then Shaggy says that's okay for Scooby to have one of those.
So then my last note for Daphne is that she thinks the alien is Mr. Creeply. And that's all I had for her.
And I just had that she offered him the Scooby snack to try to get them to go back into the house. Into, where were they?
At the toy company?
Because they had come out and they needed them to go back in, and they were saying Scooby and Shaggy go in, and no, I don't want to. And so she says, for a Scooby snack?
Okay, Velma. So...
Uh-oh.
Try this again. So, Velma, we meet another one of her relatives. We meet her Uncle Elmo.
Wow, where did I miss this one?
Oh, you missed Uncle Elmo? He was the one that, like, diagnosed Shaggy and was like, just go along with it.
Okay, well, I didn't pick up. Wow. Okay. Go me.
But, like, was he a doctor or, like, a psychiatrist?
He probably, like, a... Yeah, psychiatrist, psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, we didn't get, like, a last name with him, so we don't know what side of the family he's on. But he had the same glasses as Velma.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, is that on... Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We learn, I mean, we've kind of known, but, like, it's plainly said in this episode that Velma's a quick thinker. Fred tells her that. And then Shaggy actually starts coming up with a plan to catch the alien, and Velma's just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, but do you need help with it? Like, I'll offer to help, but I'll go along with your plan, because Shaggy was still thinking he was Commander Cool. And that's all I have for Velma.
Well, the one thing I noticed, I think you guys discussed this already once, is when she was running with Fred and Daphne, and their feet run normal like they're running, and hers are diddly. And then I have that she said jinkies 3 times.
Oh.
Once when they found the blueprints, once I have in the workshop, and then when they found the notebook and she looks through it and she says, oh, jinkies. And then at the end she explains, and I understood why she said that when she found the notebook. And one thing she had her computer again and her suitcase. And is the suitcase always blue?
I thought it was more of like a brown tan.
Was it, or was the computer blue?
The computer is probably more blue.
Blue, okay. And now I'm like, now I gotta look at the suitcase more and see if it's the same suitcase all the time.
Well, we know one of her computers broke one time. Yeah. So she's gotten a new one since.
I remember that. Oh, dogs.
So Shaggy, this was definitely more of a Shaggy-oriented episode.
Yes.
He's dressed as Commander Cool again. We haven't seen him in this outfit since the Halloween episode. Does he get hit on the head or does he fall? I didn't see like how he believed he was Commander Cool.
Seems like he fell because he was laying. Well, no, a bunch of stuff fell on him.
Okay, so
because remember they're like, oh no. The other ones, and then he sticks his head out and they're like, are you okay? And he's like, well, I think. And he looks down and he has that Commander Cool outfit on, so then oh yes, and he went right into being Commander Cool. That's what I remember.
I was filming at that time. So, yeah, he agrees to be, or he thinks he's Commander Cool, so he's brave and, wants to take on the challenge. And Velma's uncle tells the kids to just go along with it and he'll come out of it. So, Shaggy agrees to take on the case, but he, tells the gang, this isn't a job for kids and whatever. So he doesn't believe he's a kid,
but the others are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he kept calling them kids for a while of the episode.
Right, and that's what Daphne...
Yeah.
We're not kids.
And then, my last note for Shaggy, wow, go me. He hits his head again, and that's how he goes back into thinking he's Shaggy again.
Mm-hmm.
That time, he was on the floor then too.
Because they had that, it was looked like a big metal tube that they were rolling at each other, and they rolled it at the monster, and then the monster rolled it at Shaggy, and it knocked him down.
This happened last time.
I know it was going to happen. We hadn't started Scooby then.
No.
Okay, so that's where we
I
are.
have a whole one thing for Scooby, and
I have, yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully we each have something different for Scooby.
all I have is that he's dressed as Mellow, Mutt.
I have one more thing. Woo!
Oh, okay, wow.
Ah!
What's your one more? It's going.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Scoob was dressed up as Mellow Mutt, but I also have that Velma, which now, did you say it was her uncle?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was her uncle offered her a lollipop.
Oh, yeah.
And she said no, she didn't want it. So Scooby takes it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to remember what color the lollipop was, but it was the good old-fashioned circle around 2 colors.
I think it was a pink and whitish.
I was thinking red and white or pink and white. But Scooby took that
Yeah.
lollipop instead.
Commander Cool didn't stop him from that either.
No. Nope. He let him have it.
But again, Shaggy and Scooby are kind of one and the same.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But Commander Cool said no way on the Scooby snacks.
Yeah.
He was bossy about that.
So, Red Herring, like we said, showed up in the episode. He dresses up as some creature, like we had said again, and scares Scooby and Shaggy. And then he starts messing with stuff and, transports himself to some snowy place.
And he always says weenie. He calls them
little weenies.
Yeah, weenies! And that just makes me laugh. It's funny, his thing. That's what he says.
Or he also will say, too, when other people are laughing at him, it's not very funny. So, but yeah, we had Red Herring. That's all I had for him. He kept transporting himself to other places till the end of the episode. Someone took the remote thing from him.
Oh, yeah.
So then he wouldn't keep going.
Well, no, go ahead. Wow.
I was going to go into side characters now.
Yes.
Okay. So we have Carol Colossal in this episode. She is the owner of the toy building facility thing.
Mm-hmm.
She believes that Stupendous, who is another toy company runner person, whatever, is behind the alien and has been spying on them.
Is that Mr. Creeply?
No. So Stupendous is the one that owns a different toy company
The
called...
Stupendous Toys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's the one that called on the phone and was like, I'm not spying on you.
And then she opens the curtains and there's a huge
telescope.
And then it switches the one time when he says something to the effect of, she's spying on me. I think they were on the phone, and she says, I'm not spying on you.
Yeah, she called him.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's all I have for Carol, but yeah, she just owned the toy company.
That's, yeah.
So then, Stupendous.
What about Barbara Simone?
Oh, I know, I have her way at the bottom.
Well, I have her next to Carol because she's Carol's secretary or assistant.
Yeah, I didn't get all that until the end of the episode. That's all I had for Barbara, though, was that she was the assistant, but she, like, would help the gang. She was almost like a second Jenkins.
Well, she handed them... She was the one that handed them the suspect list. She had that, and they were saying, like Carol was saying, that Barbara is such a good secretary and very organized or on top of it.
Yeah, very on top of it.
So that's what I had for Barbara.
So Stu, he wanted to go after the Colossal Toys Company after the Commander Cool Toys went out on the market before his superhero toy idea. And so he basically is blaming Carol for his demise of his company. Basically that she stole the idea from him. I put down that he wore a bolo tie. I don't know why, but it was just interesting.
I didn't notice that.
And he actually tells the gang that he isn't behind the alien, but that he wishes he would have joined the alien in its plan. And that's what I had for Stu.
Now, I had that Mr. Creepley was fired by Carol
because he made creepy toys.
And he was on the suspect list because she had fired him, so they thought that it could have been him, that he was mad at her.
He reminded me of I don't know what his name is, but the, like, Frankenstein butler guy of the Addams Family.
Oh.
Like, he just looked dressed like that and whatever.
He was kind of creepy.
Speaking of which, the gang will actually have an episode with the Addams Family.
Ooh.
One time. It won't be for a while in our timeline. Will be after Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe you and I have to watch that separately. We need to watch that series, honestly, because a lot of those guest stars you know, and be like, oh, I know them, like Laurel and Hardy. And,
oh my gosh. Okay, Laurel and Hardy. So I had the same teacher for 5th and 6th grade, because where I grew up, you were still in elementary in 6th grade, and I had the same teacher. And anyway, every Friday we watched Laurel, and he was a good teacher too. I'm sure there was something to do with why he let us watch those. We watched a Laurel and Hardy every Friday. So I liked Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy, there's Three Stooges, there's Sonny and Cher.
Oh my gosh.
There's Dick Van Dyke.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to think what his name was. Oh, there's Don Adams.
Oh.
You know, from the Andy Griffith.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's Batman and Robin, but I'm trying to think of his name. He was in the band The Monkees.
Oh.
There was, like, Mama Cass Elliott. I don't know if you know who she is. She's funny. Oh, there's Jonathan Winters. He was a comedian.
London would know all these.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I need to do that series with London. But anyway, we might have to watch
some of those
episodes while we're in quarantine.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so back to the episode. That's all I have for side characters. So the villain.
Can I say something about during the romp?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
So during the romp, since it was all about toys, I noticed that they stopped and played with toys.
Oh.
So they played ping pong. They ran past a ping pong table.
I remember that.
And then they came back to it and they were playing ping pong with the alien.
Yep.
And then the alien, what are those toys that you stand on and there's a spring in the middle and you hop on it?
Oh, yeah, pogo.
Pogo stick.
Okay, pogo stick.
He was just hopping on a pogo stick. And I just thought it was funny that during the romp they were playing with toys since, it was all about these toys. So, that's what I just had for that.
So the villain was not just an alien, it was a monster alien. Said it in the romp song, actually, that he was a monster alien. And basically he's like this dark green blob with one eye, and like his tongue was a bunch of tentacles, but they acted as his arms as well.
They reminded me too the way they looked like worms.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
More like worms than tentacles, I felt like. Because like they were all the same width all the way down, but they had the little lines like if you drew a worm.
Yep.
It reminded me of a bunch of worms.
So the alien wanted to basically destroy Commander Cool. He kept going after Shaggy.
Because he thought Shaggy was Commander Cool.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I didn't really get what he was trying to do until obviously it was revealed, but yeah, he was trying to stop Commander Cool.
Yes, he was.
So then the criminal ended up being Barbara Simone, who was the assistant, and she wanted to steal the toy blueprints.
And so the lipstick was a one clue. The blueprints were a clue. And then earlier when we talked about Velma, and she said Jinkies when they found the notebook, which the notebook was on Shaggy's head. No, on Scooby's head. And they're like, what? What's this? Anyway, when she's looking through the notebook and she says, oh, Jinkies. And they're like, what? And then she says, why? She said, because everything was written in shorthand.
Oh.
So, back in the day, secretaries and that when they took notes used shorthand because it's a fast way, which I used to know shorthand. But I don't know it anymore. It's been too long. But that's where Velma said she knew when she found the notebook.
Yeah.
She knew who it was because the notebook was in shorthand. Ha-ha. So.
The clues.
The clues. Jinkies.
Okay. So, do you think Barbara Simone has good enough reason to come back?
Well, why was she? She just wanted to take it over?
She just wanted, yeah. Honestly, her plan was weak. I didn't like her plan at all. She was just trying to steal the blueprints, like... She didn't have a good plan.
It's like, almost so does any villain? Psh, is what you're doing right? No! Get out of here.
I mean, no, but we will have them come back, have some come back for revenge. And we learn eventually... Well, we learn in one movie that is a revenge plot that every criminal they've ever caught wants revenge. Just not all of them go through with it. Not all of them have the oomph to do it again. And then we learn... this is going to be first time saying this, but the end of our timeline as it stands is going to be Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. And we learn in that movie that their time in prison, actually, I've talked about this with London a little bit, but their time in prison kind of makes them realize basically what they're doing and whatever. And one criminal that got out of jail but doesn't have, do a revenge plot, they kind of talk with, and he basically tells them, we dressed up and we weren't happy with who we were in the first place, and so we thought dressing up as a creature made us better, and and we thought we could get away with our actions because we were something else, not who we are and whatever. Anyway, really sentimental moment in that movie. But
yeah,
anyways, we will actually get some behind the minds of the criminals eventually, why they thought it was okay, why they did it in the first place. So not for all of them, but
for some of them.
Mm-hmm. So actually, Barbara Simone is the first one that is going to come back.
Oh.
Not for revenge.
Oh.
But the first criminal that we will see again, because she'll come back in season 3 of A Pup Named Scooby-Doo in the next season, because Carol thinks she's just too good of an assistant, and those don't come around too often, and so they sign a work leave that she can only be out of prison when she's working.
So she kind of forgives her.
Mm-hmm.
And lets her come back. That's interesting.
So yeah, she is the first criminal we will see come back.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's all I have for this episode.
Can you edit this back in? I remembered something I was going to say. Sorry.
We can just add it now.
Okay. Before Dad called, something back to Shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
When that metal thing was rolling and crashed him down, and then he woke up and he was back to Shaggy. He's looking around. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
It's oh, surprise! I'm hungry.
You didn't eat the whole episode.
Yeah. Yeah, because Scooby got the the Mellow Mutt munchies.
Yeah.
But Shaggy, he didn't eat. He was hungry. Anyway.
So one little thing in this episode I noticed, I can't remember what it was now, but there was a animal or something that had the same laugh as Muttley. He's another Hanna-Barbera character. He's a dog. He's the dog of Dick Dastardly. Just a random little side note.
Huh.
But yeah, so as for continuity-wise, we're seeing Shaggy be brave in this episode, but he's being brave because he thinks he's someone else. And in a movie called Scooby-Doo Legend of the Phantosaur, it is a ghost dinosaur. Basically, Shaggy gets scared so much. He's gone through too many mysteries, gone through too many spooks that it's just affected him too much, and he's so scared that he shuts down, basically. And so they get told, you can't be around anything scary, basically just no more mysteries, let him calm down and whatever. And so they went to Daphnes, uncle's something. Anyway, basically there's this dude there that's running this spa resort, and he knows how to hypnotize, and so he makes Shaggy believe that he's brave when the this magic word is said and whatever. And anyway, the whole movie they're trying to find out what the word is, because the dude that hypnotized him hypnotized himself, so he's I don't remember the word. But Scooby figures out the word, but since he has his speech impediment, they can't figure it out, so the word is bad. When someone says the word bad, then Shaggy becomes brave. And so Scooby's sitting in like, rad, and so they're like, rat, like rad, rag, and he's just like, oh my gosh, Scooby by the end has just had it. He's like, I give up.
Is that kind of like probably how Trell feels when he says something we can't? Like, what are you saying? Show me. And he says it over and over. I don't know, buddy.
But, so it just made me think, he'll be hypnotized again to believe he's brave, and he does get really brave, and that's the movie where the Shaggy meme came from last year, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. And then my last continuity note is with Daphne and her fabric knowledge. This will actually come into play a lot more throughout the rest of time. A lot of times, if they're not with Daphne, they'll like take a piece of fabric or something and be like, Daphne, what is this? And whatever. And there's an episode in Mr. Incorporated where they get sent some gator skin products and whatever. And it's from this town that used to make gator products, and that was like their gold mine, and that was what the town was known for, and the town's called Gatorsburg, but the town's been abandoned for years and whatever, so obviously gator products have been made. So anyway, they mysteriously get a product from Gatorsburg, and they're like, what the heck? And so they go investigate, blah blah blah. Anyway, they find more gator product and whatever, and she's like, she is a brave woman at this point. She grabs a belt, doesn't just like touch the belt, grabs the belt, wraps it around her arm, and it like burns her basically because she's allergic to artificial animal, whatever you call that. And anyway, yeah, so she's gonna know her fabric, her clothing, stuff. Anyway, that's all I have now. That's all I got.
Me too.
So this was an interesting episode. We got a whiny dog. What? You were asleep. You didn't even watch the episode. Did I spoil it for you?
No.
So if you'd like to get in contact with us on the podcast, you can find us on Twitter at SD Legend Podcast. And that goes same for Instagram at SD Legend Podcast. You can also email us if you'd like at sdlegendpodcast@gmail.com. We've been getting some emails there, and I've been enjoying them. They've been asking questions about the timeline, and that's perfectly fine. If you do email us and you would like us to, we will answer them on the podcast, so feel free to do so. It gives us, more conversation and more to think about, more perspective to look at. So please do not hesitate. If you'd like to get in contact with me personally, you can find me on Twitter at Jazz820 and on Instagram at Smash_vlogs. And I also have a YouTube channel where I do other Scooby content along with other types of content, and it is Smash lowercase SM all uppercase ASH. If you just search Ashton Hardy, it should be one of the first ones that pop up. So that's going to do it for this episode. You're going to probably get more of Mother and I because we're in our quarantine era of life at the moment. So thank you all for tuning in to this episode, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.